Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 5 key mistakes I see a lot of people making when trying to learn a new character in Smash Ultimate, or on the other hand, maybe just learning a new secondary in Smash Ultimate. Now, these are things that I've personally done a lot myself, that I've held myself back, that I've seen a lot of friends do, and that you can quite easily avoid doing to just get a lot better at your character a lot quicker, that I just kind of want you guys to overcome. With that said, let's get going. The first mistake that I see a lot of people doing, and especially players at a lower level doing, is trying to learn every single thing about this character from scratch and trying to learn it by themselves. Now, in the past, this could have been potentially a really good idea. You know, in the beginnings of Melee or some other games where there wasn't really way too much connection to the internet, sure, put in the hours by yourself, learn anything by yourself, and see what you can figure out. But in Ultimate, it's a game that is so connected to the internet. It's a game that, you can really easily and really widely spread and gain information. And while for maybe the first few weeks it would have been a great idea to just go into the lab, figure everything out by yourself, by this point we have a lot of information. We have a lot of people putting their minds together to figure out what a character can do, and if you're a person not really tapping into that plethora of ideas, you're really missing out with your new character. Overall, there are just a ton of guides online. Maybe there's a video guide to your character, maybe there's a resource guide to your character, maybe there's a Discord that you can find on your character from Smash Chords telling you what people like to do with your current character, what their main combos are, what their main strings are, what the main good moves are in neutral, when you should use them, when you should not use them. And a thing you have to realize is that if you go online, if you look at this information, and if you try to figure it out with the help of others, you're going to be figuring it out much faster than you could possibly do by yourself. You're going to be becoming a lot better, a lot faster, having a lot more fun with your character, and just kind of getting a lot more out of your character without getting nearly as frustrated. Now, of course, there's a certain point where you want to take information from others, but as well, use that to find out your own information. That's completely fine. After you kind of know the basic bread and butters with your character, maybe you want to go into training mode and start practicing what you can try to figure out with them, how your moves interact that other people haven't figured out, and that's great. You can continue from there. But just don't waste time trying to figure out what everybody else has already figured out, because you could really advance a lot quicker and you can help push that metagame instead of just trying to slowly catch up to where everybody else already is. Now, the second mistake is one that I see from a lot of players that are just kind of barely getting into their character. Maybe they kind of have a general idea of how to play the character, they know a few really good moves that they're going to be using, and then they get into matches and they start using those moves again and again and again. And the mistake here is not experimenting with your character. Now, for example, I've been playing a ton of War recently, and for the first few weeks I thought to myself, okay, I have a few good moves, I got jab, I have forward and I have down tilt, so I'll go into every game and try to use those as much as I can. I'll try to abuse those in the ways that I know that they work. And, I was getting okay results. But at a certain point, I realized that by just doing what I know kind of worked, and not really trying out anything different, not really trying out how Nair connects into things, not really trying out how I can use Bear in order to effectively extend combos or get kills, not really trying out way too much at all, and maybe risking my current friendly game and losing that, but learning something in the process, I was just wasting so much potential. Sure, I knew that some certain things worked, but there's oftentimes times when you should, instead of just taking that free win, instead of just taking that free, knowledgeable play, try something else. Try something different. Try something that you maybe won't actually get much benefit from, but that in the end could help you in a future match. Now, of course, if you are in a tournament match, this probably isn't the time to do this. You probably don't want to go in and try to go for a really weird spike with back air or with up air or with some random weird move that you never do. But if you're in friendlies and you're just playing for fun, don't really take those way too seriously. Of course, try your best, but try out different things. Try out approaching with Nair. Try out playing really defensively with Nair. Try out going in with forward air. Try out, timing differently with your side B. Try pretty much everything you possibly can. See what works for yourself and see what doesn't. And just don't always stick 100% to the bread and butters, because a lot of the times the weird, different stuff that people won't expect is the stuff that's going to win you matches and make you way better at your character than the average player that's just doing the average stuff. The third mistake that I see really often from myself and from a lot of different players is that when you decide to pick up a new character, you focus 100% on all their tech. You focus 100% on all their combos, 100% on all their movement, and you get that all down really, really well. But then you think to yourself, why am I not really getting results with this character? Why is this character just not really clicking with me? And in a lot of cases, you could know just about everything about a character, but if you miss this one thing, it could really hold you back and make you just not play very well with them. And that one thing is, of course, the character's playstyle. Now, when you look initially at characters, you see the main ways that characters have to play. And you see a character like Olimar that plays pretty defensively, but sometimes has to go in order to get pressure off of him. You see a character like Fox that has to go really aggressive in order to get that pressure, in order to just get people above him, get kills pretty early. There's a lot of different ways that a lot of different characters like to play. And even within a character, you see different ways people pick up a character, different ways people personally play a character. You can see a pretty offensive fox, a pretty bait and punishy type fox, a fox that likes to play on the opponent's shield a lot. There's a lot of different options. But I think the main mistake that to keep in mind right here is that while different characters have different playstyles, a lot of the times you as a player also have to figure out the unique playstyle that you have with your new character. Let's say even that you have two decently offensively/defensively based characters, like you have Lucina and you have Wolf, and you swap from Wolf to Lucina. Well, maybe you played a really offensive Wolf. Maybe you like to get into your opponent's face, maybe you like to apply a lot of pressure, but you swap to Lucina and you realize for yourself that isn't really working. You know, you're great at spacing, you're great at dealing damage, you're great at doing all your combos, but it's just not really working for you. Maybe try to swap it up a little bit. Maybe play a little bit more defensively. Maybe try to keep people out a little bit more. Or on the other hand, if you know the exact opposite situation is going on, maybe go a little bit more offensively. Maybe try to bait and punish a little bit more. Maybe go for more grabs. Really just figure out what works for you and try out everything that you possibly can. Realize that your playstyle is pretty specific, the way that you're going to connect with your character is pretty specific, and the chance that your current character has the exact same playstyle with you that it's going to work as the previous character is very, very low. So try different ways to play, try different ways of aggression and defense, and really keep that in your mind. Don't just go into every single game and kind of autopilot. Really think about how you want to play and how you want to change it up, and see what gets you more results, and then go on from there. Fourth main mistake when learning a new main is what I'm going to call the main killer, the thing that makes it that you don't actually want to play this new character at all. And that's going to be pulling out your main in a tournament, either online or in person, or in a very stressful situation, far before they're ready to be pulled out. And I see this happen with so many players, with myself especially, where you go to a tournament, you go to something like that, and you have your brand new main. You've been playing them for 2 to 3 weeks, you think you finally got a little bit of grasp on them, you bring them into tournament, and you do absolutely awful with this character. Mainly because you just aren't that experienced, you don't really know exactly what to do, you don't have that much practice. But now that you've done so bad with them, you think to yourself, hey, you know, maybe this was a bad idea, maybe I shouldn't have swapped to this character, maybe I should just go back to my old character, or maybe I need a new character to play, you know, I don't really know what to do. And in a lot of cases, just pulling a character out a little bit too early can lead to disappointment. Now, of course, when you are learning a new character, you want practice, you want to pull those guys out in friendlies, you want to pull them out a lot online just to kind of get used to them, but don't put your new character into extremely stressful situations before they're ready to be put there. You don't really want to test out something that isn't really ready for that stress test, because if you're not ready and you don't have a ton of confidence that you can become better as this character, a lot of the times you can lose the main confidence that you need to start putting in the time to become better at them. This is a thing that I see a lot of people stress out about, a lot of people just not really do right. And yeah, just make sure that you have a lot of time in your character, that you have a lot of practice on your character before swapping from your old main to your new main in tournament. Otherwise, you could really just be shooting yourself in the foot and making that the character that you could potentially really want to play in the long run, your new main, you could kind of just think to yourself, you know, I don't really want to play them because I'm not getting any results. That happens to a lot of players quite often, so please don't hold yourself back like that. Be a little bit patient and get the results in the long term, instead of just trying to hope that pulling out the character really early is going to work out for you, because most of the time it probably won't work out that well. The fifth and final mistake that I've seen that in a lot of ways correlates to the fourth mistake is, simply put, not giving your new character enough time. And in a lot of cases, kind of just switching back to your old character because you did pretty well as them and you're not really doing that well as this new one. Now, I know when you pick up somebody new for like the first week, you have a ton of hype. You think to yourself, hey, this person's gonna work amazingly. I love this combo style. I love this play style. I love everything that they can do. And then kind of as the weeks roll on, you realize that there are some cracks in their gameplay. There are some mistakes that might be made for yourself a lot when you're playing this character. There are some negatives. But if you want to pick somebody up and if you decided you want to play them, the one thing I tell you to do right here is decide not to go back to your old main. Not to revert back to what you were playing before. Because if you do, you're just going to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you're really not going to be able to see if you have any results with this new character. Now, of course, in the long run, if you play this new character for like 3 or 4 months and you decide you really don't like them and that you really do like who you used to play, that's completely fine. Go back. But please give every character you decide to play a really, honestly, decent shot. Put in the time, learn as much as you possibly can about them, and see how well you can do in the long term with a lot of practice, with a lot of tournaments, with a lot of just effort, and see what comes out of it. Sometimes it might work well, sometimes it might work badly, but really you can't expect to learn somebody new if, every single step you're thinking, hey, maybe I should go back, maybe I should change to somebody else. Decide when you pick a new main, or when you pick a new character you want to play, that I'm going to play them for quite a few months, let's say 2 to 3 months at minimum. I'm going to decide how I like them at that point, and I'll just keep playing from there. I know that that can be kind of difficult. It can be hard to put yourself into that situation where you have to play a character, but in the long run, this will help you a lot, and I feel like this will kind of just make you actually realize if you enjoy them, if you don't, and makes it that you just aren't wasting time switching from character to character to character to character every single week, as a lot of people do. And that, I think, is honestly probably one of the biggest mistakes, just not giving yourself enough time to become good as somebody that you really want to play. But anyways, there you guys go on the 5 mistakes that I see a lot of people making when trying to learn a new character or learning a new main in Smash Ultimate. Now, of course, mainly these come from me. I switch characters a lot in different games, from League of Legends to Overwatch to Smash. I'm really one of those people that just swaps all over the place. But in this game, I think I finally kind of sat on who I want to play. And, by doing this, I think I kind of decided exactly what I want to do. And I'm finally beginning able to get a little bit of results. And, it's been working pretty well for me, so I hope that it will help you guys as well. As always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your own opinions about mistakes that a lot of people make when learning a new character. Top of the screen now is a playlist for more Overwatch Ultimate videos, like this. So if you want to see those, they're up right there. Subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, and have a smashing day.